The game begins with our resident heroine Jill Valentine remembering the trauma of the evil that occurred only 2 months prior in Spencer's mansion. Jill has been on that gamer diet of pizza and raccoon milk. The game starts with Jill getting a call from an anonymous admirer. What? Our first objective is to get out of town, in which we link up with Brad Vickers. This game has some great presentation, I'll give it that. I'd consider Brad a reliable ally if it wasn't for the fact he gets bitten the literal second you take your eyes off of him. So he pleads for us to leave him and we escape through a back alley. After finding an officer sleeping on the job, we take his firearm and prepare for our first takedown. Fine, you live another day. We then safely make our way to the roof of a parking lot for evacuation.
Hello, motherfucker.
After committing some Grand Theft Auto, I get to put my real-life driving skills to the test. And this is where we learn the most terrifying fact of all.
British?
Name's Carlos, and I'm saving you.
Carlos reveals that some subway cars have been turned into temporary shelter for survivors until they can restore power. So our first objective is to get the subway infrastructure back online. I immediately found a locked box, which should be no issue with Jill, the master of unlocking. So we're finally given free reign into the game proper, and are immediately greeted by a zombie, in which we give a British greeting in return. A change that I am fond of is the knife no longer being as brittle as a local osteoporosis riddled senior taking a light fall, and by which I mean, they removed its durability so it's more viable even on the higher difficulties. Have you seen that shit in the next game? Leon parries a fucking chainsaw. A change that I really appreciate compared to the previous title is the addition of a dodge button, and timing it well enough allows you to enter bullet time with some aimbotting. There were so many times in RE2 that I saw a zombie reach for me, and I had no choice but to stare at it and accept my rapidly impending fate. I'm honestly struggling to tell if the virus did get out or if these are just impoverished Nottingham citizens. So we finally find our route to get to the substation and restore power. However, the alley there is on fire, giving us our first objective. At its core, Resident Evil is a resource management game. You need to be sure of every bullet you want to spend, every herb to use, because there's only a finite number of these available to you. As well as the dodge button, they've also added various gimmicks to help you circumvent the zombies. I accidentally dodge into a zombie and practice my American standard greeting. It's nice to know that criticals are still in the game. I have no idea what this is, but it looks hilarious. And so we find the hose that will allow us to pass through the burning alleyway. I wonder if stealth killers are in this. Oh my god! I also discovered that bullet time works with the knife, allowing me to channel my British heritage. So we finally put out the fire and we can make our way towards the substation. But first we find some bolt cutters, which means it's backtracking time. This was so worth it. Double tap. We managed to find another survivor. This gives me an idea. Yeah, zombie NFTs. Here we meet Nikolai. He seems trustworthy. Ah yes, the sound of my imminent demise. Here we go. Not preserving my ammo when it comes to these guys. So we find some lockpicks, backtracking part 2. So this bug has infected us with Parasite. Good thing they left a subtle hint. Green herbs, they work! So next up is this cool bug sequence where I definitely didn't die. Next, Carlos informs us we need to reroute the traffic control system, so our first objective is to head to the subway office. We then encounter Nemesis, who is easily disabled, and we safely make our way to the streets. Oh hi Nemesis. We then play Hot Potato. He drops a case with an extended mag. Didn't know he was planning on shooting me. That was not edited. Nemesis moves faster than my dad's belt after consulting with his friend Jack. We then proceed to play a friendly game of peekaboo with Nemesis. He won. So I then proceed to leave the donut store. So I then proceed to... Oh come on, give me a break! I have no choice but to take a different route from the donut store. Oh god, he's still here. He's everywhere. Nemesis, please, leave me alone, please. Oh god, he's everywhere. Nemesis, please, I beg of you, the trains need power, please. I eventually make it to the subway office and operate the traffic controls. So now our first objective is to return to the subway station. What the heck is that? Oh, that wasn't so bad. So it turns out Nemesis is giving out infecting,
I'm about to burst!
Nemesis then stops this lady from bothering me. We manage to relink with everyone at the subway station.
Why is she here?
After being followed, our first objective is to lure Nemesis away.
Come on, you creepy ass stalker!
We're forced to be sus and vent.
A mongoose.
So we end up in the sewers, where they keep the Vordians. Nemesis then proceeds to help us up. And then we skedaddle to safety. He then proceeds to...
Burn my house to the ground!
And so we finally have our first showdown. I'm able to make quick work of his fuel tank, so I challenge him to a melee fight. He obliges. This dodge mechanic is especially useful when you forget to reload. Whoops, forgot to reload again. There we go. The building finishes combusting and we plummet to our death. After recovering, we resume our first objective of returning to the subway station. After traversing the streets, we bump into Kendo. He seems distracted. It's probably nothing. You'll never guess who we run into next. This guy seems more persistent than John A. Roebling. Oh, so he was planning to shoot me. That was just a homeless dude. Ouch. Excuse me, buddy. We overhear there is a scientist that might have a vaccine developed. Oh, and Nikolai's here too. Me too, Jill. Nemesis can be seen warming up to passengers.
How is this fucker not dead yet?
Me too, Jill. So it turns out Nikolai's evil. Big shocker there. Mikhail politely asks Nemesis to leave the train.
Get off my train, shitbird! Sorry.
Marvin and Brad do some catching up. Carlos introduces himself.
I got this fucker.
Stay down, Brad. And here we have ourselves a Carlos section. Why are there so many in the shower? Alright, that's finally over. This area does seem familiar though.
You had a kick-ass first day.
Okay, now I can finish looting that deposit room or storage room, whatever it was. Oh my Christ! Surely that won't happen again. It happened again? So instead of a dodge, Carlos seems to have the fist of God.
This asshole again.
So we make it to the Star's office and make contact with Dr. Bard. He tells us he's trapped in a hospital and Umbrella is enforcing an early retirement plan to all the researchers. We return to Jill and start finding our way above ground. Build a man a fire and he'll be warm for a day. Set a man on fire and he'll be warm for the rest of his life.
The train derailed.
What?
Get back!
Now we have round 2 with Nemesis, which would be great if I didn't just put everything into my item box. I was able to put up a decent fight, but I eventually ran out of ammo and had to do things the old-fashioned way. He did eventually get the better of me, however. Round 2 part 2, mother hecker. Okay, wait, this doesn't count. This fight isn't too difficult as Nemesis only has 2 or 3 attacks that are very telegraphed and easy to dodge. The difficulty of this fight comes from Nemesis being tankier than the enemy.
Don't flip!
He eventually reaches phase 2 and just starts to run across the walls. At this point, you're supposed to shoot a mine round into the wall to make him fall down and expose his core. I'm not sure he actually does anything during this part, he just runs in circles and jumps back down. So after an intense back and forth, he actually gets me, which I don't remember happening. No wonder the footage was so long. Let's just redo that.
Right? Let's do this.
After winning the fight, we are penetrated by Nemesis. It's just a tip, guys, it doesn't count. I don't feel too good. Another Carlos section? Here we go again. That can't be good. Now we're introduced to a new enemy type called the Beta Hunters, and Carlos is looking submissive and breedable today. Do you love your bio-organic weapon and its one-hit instant kill attack? This never fails. Well, that looks like a lot of fun. It wasn't fun. What the heck? I'm not dealing with this. So we find that Dr. Bard has been shot in the head. He did manage to leave a message on the computer, however. So we acquire the vaccine and our first objective is to get back to Jill. Tyrell finds us and informs us that a nuke will be dropped on the city. Now we have this section where we need to defend Jill from a horde of zombies. However, it's really boring, so here's a dramatic recreation. Carlos then proceeds to kill Jill. We return to Jill's perspective. Tyrell informs us Carlos has gone deeper into the labs to find a vaccine. Excuse me sir, am I bothering you? Guess not. Oh hell yes. I'm not wasting ammo on a montage. And so we descend and come to find Nikolai once more. He blows a fuse, so we have to collect them. This guy looks like me at 3 AM when I need to reset the router. This place definitely isn't up to OSHA regulation. Oh hi doggy. Oh shit, fucking those parkour. Nemesis once again finds us and gives Tyrell a little more than the tip. We arrive in the lab proper and begin searching for the vaccine. So we systematically take down all hostiles in our way. This looks safe. I wonder if... Yep. After acquiring the vaccine base, we mash buttons until the puzzle solves itself. So we acquire the delicious looking vaccine. You know, for as big as Nemesis is, he's really good at sneaking around. Yeah, knife's useless, Jill. Nikolai shows up and does his evil thing, and we have yet another showdown with Nemesis. I shoot him with acid rounds a few times, which doesn't do anything. But he eventually gets tired and lies down. So he enters phase 2 and does his thing where he runs on the walls, except this time instead of shooting mine rounds, you shoot buttons. So not a whole lot changes for this fight. He does have a tentacle arm now, which gives him 2 new attacks, but he is still really tanky, making me question why this fight is even in the game. It just feels like extra padding to me. There are additional zombies thrown at you during this fight, but it doesn't really change how anything plays out. Nikolai once again does his evil thing. And so, Nemesis finally comes out of his shell. Alright, let's do this one last time. I'm so glad I've been saving the Magnum for this. It was thanks to all my comrades that I made it here. Face it, Nemesis, you've been defeated by the power of friendship, and this gun I found. With Nemesis dealt with for the last time, we head to the surface, where Nikolai is once again doing evil things by destroying our only vaccine sample. So we make sure it's the last thing he does and leave him to his fate within the final moments of Raccoon City.